Croeso pawb to the Days of Play PSN sale. This is a pretty good sale and it's got some really good games, even some VR and AAA ones as well. So if you like the idea of finding some cool games to play and saving a lot of money along the way, then you're at the right place. Don't forget to subscribe and then you won't miss a good deal again. You're welcome here anytime. This sale ends on the 11th of June, so that'll be your last day to pick up these deals. Let's look at the games. First up we have 428 Shibuya Scramble. It was released in 2018, so it's 7 years old, and it's on an 85% discount for the price of £6.74, which is a pretty good deal, especially because visual novels are usually really pricey. In this game, you follow 5 protagonists, inescapably drawn into a case of kidnapping and intrigue, where you control the characters and the story. It features a 10-hour story with 90 different variations to experience, which is a massive amount of variations. It's practically endless. So if you're the sort of person that likes replaying games, especially if there's different endings and content, then you'll probably really enjoy this game. Now, in general, visual novels aren't for everyone. There's a lot of reading in them, not as quite as much as a book, but sometimes they're not far off. So you have to be focused on story and not expect too much gameplay and just get immersed in it instead. But hey, if that's the sort of thing you like, then why not take a look at this game? Most visual novels are pretty expensive, and this one's not too bad. So if you're a fan of visual novels and you like mysteries, then why not take a look at this one? These games aren't for everyone, but if you're the sort of person that likes these games, you'll probably really enjoy this one if you pick it up. So why not take a look if you like the sound of it? And hey, if you've never played a visual novel before, then I wouldn't recommend starting here. You can get other ones cheaper than this, and even bigger, more famous games from this genre as well. But hey, if you really like the look of this one, then why not check it out? It is still a decent game from a very niche genre. So if you're into it, why not take a look at it? But if not, you'll have plenty more options in future videos, so don't forget to subscribe, and then you won't miss them when they're on sale next. AI The Insomnium Files Nirvana Initiative is our next game. It was released in 2022, so it's 3 years old, and it's on a 75% discount for the price of £8.74, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it, and a pretty good deal, especially for a game of this quality, and a visual novel as well. They're usually pretty pricey, so it's not unusual to see them way more than this. Now on a side note, the first game is also on sale for an 80% discount for the price of £3.19, which is also the cheapest I've ever seen it, and a really great deal. So if you want the first game, or you want both, then why not take a look at that one as well. In this visual novel, 6 years ago half a body was discovered, and now the remaining half is found perfectly preserved. You follow 2 detectives and their AI companions as they work together to solve the murder and unveil the mysterious plot of the Nirvana Initiative. Now this game series seems pretty high budget for a visual novel. Most visual novel games don't have high budget 3D graphics, and this game does. In general, it just seems to have a higher production quality and seems like a really good game, especially within this genre. And it's also quite unusual to see a sci-fi theme for these sorts of games as well. So if you're into anime games with crazy stories, and you're a fan of visual novels, so you don't mind reading a lot of text, then you'll probably really enjoy this. Especially if you really like getting involved in stories, then you might have a lot of fun with this game. But if you're more into gameplay, I'd stay clear of this genre in general. So hey, if you really like the look of this one, then why not check this out? And don't forget the first game is on sale as well, and that's even cheaper than the sequel. So if you're interested, why not take a look at one of them, or both of them? And hey, if you've never played a visual novel before, then I wouldn't recommend starting here. It's quite expensive, even amongst the ones that go on sale, so you're probably better off starting with one of the others instead. And if you're really into sci-fi in particular, then why not start with the first game from this series? That'll be a much better place to start, and it's way cheaper as well. So why not take a look at that one if you're interested? But if not, don't worry, there'll be plenty more visual novels for you to choose from in future videos as well. We have a really good game next, Alan Wake Remastered. It was released in 2021, so it's 4 years old, but the original was older than that really, like think Xbox 360 era, and it's on an 85% discount for the price of £3.74, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it, and a really great deal, especially for a game of this quality. And this remaster has 4K visuals, and includes both of the DLC expansions, the Signal and the Writer, plus it includes both the PS4 and PS5 versions as well, so wherever console you own, you can play the best version available, with all of the content, which is really great. In this survival horror, a troubled author desperately searches for his missing wife as he finds a horror story that he doesn't remember writing, but as the story starts coming true page by page, he doubts his own sanity as a hostile darkness enslaves everyone around him. Now, this game was really big back when it came out on the 360 originally, and it was an exclusive to Xbox back then, and I played it because eventually it was a free game on their Gold Pass system, which they copied from PS Plus, and it was a really good game. I really enjoyed it back then, and nothing much has changed now. It's the same great game, but with better graphics, and some improvements as well, with all of the content included, which is really good. Most of this game revolves around fighting monsters that you use light and a combination of weapons to kill, with most of the survival horror being focused around running out of batteries and trying to scavenge them to power your torches and other light sources in order to fight the enemies and survive. So if you're a fan of survival horrors and you like your games with a really good story, then why not take a look at this? It's a bit different, especially compared to the more usual zombie sort of games you see in this genre, but it's a really good game and I'm really glad they remastered it. It's well worth playing if you're a fan of this genre. So if you like the sound of it, definitely check it out. I'm sure you'll have a lot of fun if you give it a chance. And hey, if you've never played a survival horror before, then you could definitely start here. It's a really good AAA game, remastered with all of the content and a load of extra features, and it's just a really good game. You can't ask for much more really, so if you've always been tempted by the genre, why not take a look at this game? I'm sure you'll have a great time if you pick it up. Up next is my star buy, Control Ultimate Edition. It was released in 2020, so it's 5 years old, and it's on an 85% discount for the price of £5.24, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it, and a really great deal, as this edition includes both the DLC story expansions, but just be careful because there's 2 versions, and only one includes the PS4 and PS5 versions, and you can only buy that version from a PS5 or on the PSN website. So if you've only got a PS4, you should buy it on a PS5 or on the PSN website to get both versions, because there's no upgrade from the 4 to the 5 version, so you'll be stuck with it and you'll have to buy both in that case. So make sure you get the right version. Even if you don't have a PS5 right now, you might as well do it, and then in the future you'll have it if you ever want it. Make sure you pick up the version with both. In this third-person action adventure, a corruptive presence has invaded the Federal Bureau of Control, and only you have the power to stop it with your psychic abilities and weaponry. It features a Metroidvania map, side missions, ability upgrades, and challenging boss fights as well. Now this game came out of nowhere when it released. Nobody was hyped or really heard much about it, and when it came out it was massively popular. As an exclusive for Sony, it done really well and everybody loved it. It was a massive AAA hit that nobody seen coming. It was a really good surprise. So if you're a fan of action-adventure games, and you like your games with a bit of spookiness, then you'll probably really love this game. It's a really good game. Like I said, it's my star buy. It's well worth your time and money, I promise. If you're tempted at all, definitely check it out. It's such an awesome game for a really good deal. You can't really go far wrong. Check it out. And hey, if you've never played a third-person action-adventure before, then you could definitely start here. It's a massive AAA top-quality game for a really low price with a load of content included, which is really good. You can't ask for much more really, so if you've always been tempted by this genre, why not take a look at this game? But if not, don't worry, there'll be plenty more games for you to choose from in future videos, so don't forget to subscribe, and then you won't miss them when they come on sale next. We have an old school series next, Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition. It was released in 2020, so it's 5 years old, and it's on a 75% discount for the price of £8.74, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it, and a really great deal, especially as this edition includes the Virgil playable character, all previous content, and 2 new game modes with high FPS and ray tracing support added for the PS5 version, which is amazing. You're getting the complete version of the game with some extra stuff just for PS5, which is really great. Now, just so you know, the PS4 version is also on sale for the same price, but it's got a different name. It's called Devil May Cry 5 Deluxe plus Virgil. And keep in mind, some of the content is exclusive to the PS5 version, and there's no upgrade, so if you buy the PS4 version, you're stuck with it unless you buy both. So make sure you pick up the one you want, because you can't upgrade between them, so just keep that in mind. This game is a hack and slash game where you play as Nero, Dante, and V, as you are hired by V, the mysterious stranger, to stop the Demon King Urizen. But after Urizen turns out to be someone they already know, the situation soon spirals into a much more personal fight. Now, back in the day on PS2, this game series was massive. Anyone that liked action games loved this series. It was huge, it was AAA, it was a console seller, everybody really loved it. It was a massively popular series. And it did fall into decline. As the sequels went on, they got less popular, and then they stopped making them all together. And they did do a remake at one point, but that was sort of popular, but not with the fans of the series. And now they're back again, continuing the original series, with the original characters, and ignoring the remake. So if you're a fan of the series, then you'll probably really enjoy this game. If you're not, then there is a lot to see in this game. Obviously you're missing a lot of the history, but they know that, and they've made the game so you don't have to have played the first 4 games. You can jump in here and have a lot of fun with it. But bottom line, it's a really big AAA legendary series with a lot of pedigree, and the original games are really popular for a reason, because they're just really good, and this is no exception. If you're into games where gameplay is what matters, and you just like really good action fighting, then you'll really enjoy this series. So if you're into action games and hack and slash games in general, then why not take a look at this? I'm sure you'll have a lot of fun if you give it a chance. And hey, if you never played a hack and slash game before, then I'm not sure I'd recommend starting here. It is a little bit pricier compared to some of the other games that go on sale, and it is from a series where there are already at least 4 games for. So you're probably better off starting with another franchise that's cheaper, and you don't have to worry about the story and all of that as well. But hey, if you're really into this, then take a look at it. It is a really good quality game. But if not, there'll be plenty more games for you to choose from in future sales. So don't miss the videos, and then you won't miss out on them when they're on sale next. We have a VR game next, Dick Wilds 2. It was released in 2019, so it's 6 years old, and it's on a 90% discount for the price of £1.59, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it, and a really great deal. And on a side note, the first game is also on sale for a 90% discount for the price of £1.19 as well. So if you want both of them, or you want a slightly cheaper one, then you can get the first one as well if you're interested. Now, this game's an on-rails VR shooter, and move controllers are required, which is great because why would you want to play this sort of game without them? It would completely make it pointless. And it does have aim controller support as well, which is a massive plus. More games should support the best VR controller ever made because it's a really good controller that I wish more games used. Now, keep in mind this is a PSVR 1 game only, so if you've got a PSVR 2 you won't be able to play it. In this game, the local lakes and ravines have been infected by a toxic outbreak, and it's up to you, alone or with a friend, to shoot up everything to save the day. It features a variety of weapons to use, 2-player online co-op, and giant enemy bosses to fight, which is really cool. Now, back in the day, this game genre was massive. Games like Time Crisis ruled the arcades, and everybody dreamed of playing them at home, which is really difficult. Until they started bringing out things like the G-Con, you couldn't play these sorts of things at home. Not half the same experience anyway, not to mention the TVs were tiny back then, so it just wasn't the same. But hey, now these days, the sort of technology we used back then doesn't work on LCDs, so a lot of games don't have this sort of thing anymore. But hey, now with VR, you can play them, and they're better than ever in VR. It's way more immersive, and it's way more fun, with way cooler controls as well. So if you've got a PSVR 1 and you like on-rail shooters, why not take a look at this one? It's one of the more high production value games from this sort of genre, and it's at a really low price as well. You can't ask for much more really. These games are great for people who haven't played VR before, because you don't need to explain anything to them, and they won't get motion sick in them either. And with the 2-player online co-op as well, you can even play it with a friend, which is really cool. It's nice to see more cooperative games in VR. I wish more games had that. So if you've got a PSVR 1 and you like these sorts of games, definitely check it out. It's a lot of fun, and it might even be great for parties and friends to try out VR as well. So why not check it out if you like the look of it? And hey, if you've never played an on-rails VR shooter before, then you could definitely start here. It's a really good high production value game for a really low price, so you can't ask for much more really, and considering it's even got cool features like 2-player online co-op, it's a really good game for the money. So if you've always been tempted by an on-rails shooter, then why not check this out? It's a lot of fun for everyone, and I think you'll really enjoy it if you pick it up, so why not check it out? We have another VR game next, Doctor Who: The Edge of Time. It was released in 2019, so it's 6 years old, and it's on a 90% discount for the price of £1.99, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it, for a really cool game with a great franchise attached. Now in this game, move controllers are optional, so if you have them you can play them, but if you don't you can play it without, which is really cool. This sort of game doesn't really require it, but it's nice that they support it for people who want to use it for their extra bit of immersion, which is really cool. Now keep in mind this is a PSVR 1 only game. Now there is a PSVR 2 version that you can buy as well, but you can upgrade between them because there's some complicated rubbish about the company changing hands of the developers and stuff. They did this really stupid system where if you contacted them within like 4 weeks of the release of the new game, they would upgrade you for free if you sent them the receipt of the first game. But realistically, who even knew about that? It's a really scummy situation. They had it there just to say they offered an upgrade, but realistically they don't. It's a really scummy move, and they should have just said, no, we're not going to. Or they should have just said yes and offered it for everyone. They really just annoyed people with it. In this VR puzzle game, you get to team up with the Doctor to solve puzzles and save the universe from a mysterious new enemy, and you even get to pilot the TARDIS and experience the world of Doctor Who like never before, meeting both iconic and new monsters in the adventure, which is really cool if you're a fan of the franchise. The only thing that confuses me is that it says you interact with the 13th Doctor, but there isn't a 13th Doctor, right? So that doesn't make sense at all. Anyway, ignoring the rubbishness of modern Doctor Who, which is cancelled now, so good job, I won't have to put up with that anymore, which is really good. Win for humanity, that one. And if you don't know what Doctor Who is, it's a massively well-regarded series from the history of Britain. It's been around longer than most countries, and it's a really good series that was massive back in the day, and everyone of every age has fond memories of it. Even people that are like 90 now remember watching it as a kid. It's a massively, deeply personal series for the British people. It's one of the greats. And the modern continuation is pretty good, up to a point, but it is pretty good in general. But hey, if you're a fan of Doctor Who and you've been a Whovian for years, you should definitely check this out. If you've got a PSVR 1 or a PSVR 2 and you're willing to wait for that version to come on sale at some point, this is a really good game. You literally get to live the dream. You get to hang out with the Doctor, even though it's a rubbish one, and you get to explore the universe with the TARDIS and see a load of famous characters and events from the show, which is really good. If you're a fan of this series, I don't need to explain anymore. It's a dream come true, and it's the sort of thing that VR was made for. Definitely check it out if you're a fan of Doctor Who. You can't go far wrong, really. And hey, if you've never played a VR puzzle game before, then you could definitely start here. It's a really good game with a really good franchise attached, and it's really cheap. Especially if you're a fan of Doctor Who, you should definitely take a look at this. Unless you're really not a fan of Doctor Who or sci-fi in general, in which case there'll be plenty more VR puzzle games for you to choose from in future videos. So don't forget to subscribe, and then you won't miss them when they're on sale next. And the final game I have for you is Transistor. It was released in 2014, so it's 11 years old, and is on an 80% discount for the low price of £2.99, which is a really great deal for such an amazingly good quality game. In this action RPG, Red, a famous singer from the city of Cloudbank, has been attacked by the robotic force process, and during her escape, finds the weapon Transistor infused with the consciousness of the last man it killed, along with Red's own stolen voice, and now you must journey along with him to save yourself, and maybe more than that as well. Now, this game was a free game on PS Plus forever ago, like way back on PS3 days, and it was one of the best games I ever had on PS Plus. I played it because it was free, and I absolutely loved it. The reviews were amazing, everybody said it was really good, so I gave it a chance, and I didn't regret it. The style just oozes out of this game, and the gorgeous graphics and the amazing voiceover is just unbeatable. They're so good. It creates such an atmospheric world to explore, and it makes the game experience really good. It's just a pleasure of a game to play, it really is. It's got unbelievably good reviews, and I absolutely adore this game. I played it all the way through and absolutely loved it. Anyone that likes this genre should definitely take a look at it. I can't recommend it highly enough. It might just be the best game you've played in ages. And hey, if you've never played an action RPG before, then you could definitely start here. It may not have big AAA production values and impressive 3D graphics, but what it does have is style and heart and really good quality in everything it does. You can't ask for much more. If you've ever been tempted by this genre, or you just like the look of this one, I would highly recommend you check it out. I think you'll really enjoy it if you give it a chance. And that's all the games I have for the Days of Play PSN sale. What did you think of the games I picked? Did I pick good ones or did I pick bad ones? And what about the star buy? Did it deserve it, or should some other game have won it instead? Leave all your comments below and we could talk about it later. Anyway, I hope you found some really cool games to play, but more importantly, I hope you saved a lot of money. I'll see you guys in the next sale. Hwyl fawr.